Hey, everybody, we're back to talk a little more football with you. Some
college football.
College football. We are already up into week 7.
Yeah, week 7.
Again, it's week 7 of football. I think it's only week 3, 4 of the SEC and Big Ten and
Big Ten
Pac-12
will come
and
in the next couple of weeks.
Next couple of weeks. But anyways, we are in week 7. But first of all, we have to recap. We got to do a little recap on week 6, even though I don't want to talk about the first game we're going to talk about. But we got to talk about the first game we're going to talk about.
Okay, let's get this out of the way.
Let's get this out of the way.
Tennessee
and Georgia. Tennessee actually looked really good
in the first half.
In the first half, they were
Georgia
actually
had some miscues, like the botch snap over the guy's head, over the quarterback's head.
Yeah, and again, I'm not going to bash Tennessee because I didn't think Tennessee was a top 5 team to begin with.
It's Georgia's defense in the second half.
Honestly, I think Georgia's defense is the best in the country.
They are better to the ball.
They're better than Alabama's defense. I think they are seriously. I think they're better than Clemson's defense. I think Georgia is probably the best defense. After watching that game, I really think they're probably the best defense. Georgia won 44-21. They just in the second half, Tennessee fell apart a little bit. I still think Tennessee's definitely a top 20 team. Because they've definitely got some talent, but they're not a top 10.
They can't take out Georgia yet.
No, they're not good enough for a top 5 matchup with anybody. But anyways, we did see some flashes of goodness from Tennessee there.
But it wasn't enough.
It just wasn't enough. Next we got number 4 Florida at number 21 Texas A&M.
Against Texas
Man, I really did not think Florida would lose that game.
Their defense failed.
41 points. Ow. You want to know, Tennessee only gave up 44 to Georgia. Florida gave up 41 to Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
Who had lost.
To Alabama already.
Yeah, so I don't know if Florida thought they were better than what they were or what they were, but that was
not a good showing for the Gators.
The last second field goal took them out, yeah, so.
Texas A&M gets a good win that they desperately needed.
They did desperately need that. I think that Jimbo Fisher desperately needed that.
First top 5 win as a head coach.
Might have been a little hot under the seat, because of all the struggles that we've been having. People expected it to get better this year. And now it might. I know this season's going to be weird because there's been no preseason. There's been no warm-up.
Maybe this
you still don't know what you're going to get week to week.
This is the beginning of something in Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm. Next, we had Virginia Tech at North Carolina.
North Carolina and Virginia Tech had a shootout.
56-45. Man, what is this, the Big 12? I mean, that's 101 points.
But North Carolina shows that they can score the ball, but there's a little question on the defense right there.
I think there's a lot of defenses struggling right now, to be honest. I think Georgia's is the really only just spectacular defense I've seen so far.
All the others have struggled. For the most part.
Yeah, there's been a lot of them struggling. Speaking of struggling defenses, Texas, Oklahoma.
What? Well, it's just another barn burner right there.
45-53.
And there goes Texas this season. There goes the Big 12's chances of getting into the playoff.
Yeah, this week both Texas and Oklahoma
are 2-2 and out of the rankings.
2-2, man. 2-2. If you would have thought at the beginning of the year Oklahoma would be 2-2 and Texas would be 2-2.
I'd be scratching my head.
The Big 12's chances is Iowa State
and Oklahoma State.
Okay, that's a little something. We had University of Texas, San Antonio at BYU. That was closer than what I thought. I thought BYU would beat them by 25-30 points.
They did have an off game.
I think they had an off game there, yeah.
But they did pull out the win, and that was the best. That was the most important thing.
Sometimes you have struggles, and you just got to find a way to win them. And BYU found a way to win them. We had Texas Tech at Iowa State, 31-15. So Texas Tech is struggling a little bit.
And Iowa State's pulling it together.
Iowa State's not a bad looking team. I mean, they're the Big 12's hope. Them and Oklahoma State, yeah. We had Arkansas at Auburn. I thought Arkansas got robbed.
With a capital R.
They got robbed, dude. When he was spiking the ball, it was a bad snap, and then he picked it up, so the ball was alive right then. You can't spike the ball when the ball's alive. He turned and threw it backwards. That was a backwards pass, which means it's a lateral. It's a live ball. That should have been a fumble right then. And then Arkansas picked it up. Arkansas should have won the game right there. And I think
Auburn got off easy.
They acknowledged that they did that wrong after they did. I saw someone that's something that was really funny. He said, I hope Arkansas at least got a nice letter in the mail saying how they screwed it up so they can frame that and put it on their wall instead of getting the win. They got screwed. They did. Arkansas got screwed on
Auburn really needs to play better football, though.
Yeah. Speaking of somebody playing good football, Miami at Clemson.
Clemson playing good football.
Clemson and Georgia honestly look like the best two teams in the country right now. Alabama's still strong. I mean, they scored a ton of points, but as far as a complete team, Clemson's definitely number one. I don't think there's any doubt on that. And I think Georgia's probably number two. Alabama 3-ish, 2-ish, 3-ish, but Clemson looked really good. Put up 42 on number 7 Miami. There was only
the U is not back.
Either Miami is overranked, which could have been, or Clemson's that good.
And
could
more
be a combination.
Could be the combination of the two.
Combination of the two. Clemson's probably really good, and Miami probably should have been number 7. And again, we had Alabama, Ole Miss. Man,
shootout.
Shootout. When's the last time you saw Alabama score 63?
A long time ago.
Against a SEC opponent.
A long, long time ago.
Alabama has an explosive offense. What? And a defense that gave up 48.
Well, I guess their defense made the important stop at the end of the fourth, so I guess that's what mattered.
Now, you did have Lane Kiffin, who has probably thought up every trick in the book wanting to beat Saban, so maybe that was a little bit of
He gets a chance every year as soon as he's Ole Miss's head coach.
Yeah. And then we have the collapse of Florida State continuing as they lose to Notre Dame 42-26.
What happened?
I still don't know how good Notre Dame's going to be either,
What happened to the Seminoles? A few years ago, they were a top-tier program.
That was when Jimbo Fisher had them. Jimbo Fisher had them as a top-tier program.
Once he left, that ship
and then they brought in, who was the one who came in behind him?
Willie Taggart.
Willie Taggart. That was horrid. And now, who's the guy? Who's the coach now?
Mike Norvell.
Yeah, Mike Norvell. He might be decent. He came in from Memphis, didn't he? He was Memphis' old coach, and Memphis was a pretty good team. So I would probably give him 2 or 3 years before I'd decide on him right now. But right now, Norvell's scheme is not fitting with the players he's got.
No. Most of the players are not his players, though.
No. All right, that is a recap of Week 6. Let's jump into Week 7 and see what we got going on here now. First of all, we have a Wednesday night top 25 game, so that's just why we're shooting a little early this week. We got Coastal Carolina at the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. Raging Cajuns are still ranked number 21 because they are 3-0.
Both teams are 3-0.
Coastal Carolina's 3-0 too. I think it'll be a close game.
You want to pick the Cajuns?
But I'll probably still pick the Cajuns, yeah. Until somebody beats the man, you got to go with the man. Right now, the Cajuns are ranked, and they're staying ranked, so we'll just go ahead and go with them. Got a couple Friday night games too. Not huge games. But Southern Methodist SMU jumps up into the top 20 at number 17.
Their offense has produced plenty of points recently.
They're playing Tulane, which is Tulane's 2-2.
Pretty much a 500 team.
Yeah, they're exactly a 500. And SMU is favored by 6.5 at Tulane.
Will you take that?
I'll probably take SMU. SMU did look pretty good last week, so I'll probably take that minus 6.5. We got BYU. They've got up to number 14, taking on Houston. The University of Houston at Houston. Houston's only played one game, but they're 1-0. They're undefeated. So I don't know what I'm going to get from Houston. Although I haven't seen them.
This game can tell.
This game will definitely tell. BYU's favored by 5.5, and with an unknown Houston team, you would think.
Do you want to take the Cougars plus 5?
I would probably take. You want to take BYU minus 5? You think? Or you want to take Houston?
You want to take Houston or do you want to take BYU?
I'd probably take BYU, wouldn't you? We'll take BYU minus that 5.5. Hopefully they'll beat them by them. And then we've got the start of a beautiful Saturday of football. Kentucky Wildcats at our Tennessee Vols.
Coming off a loss to Georgia, they're going to probably...
They should gel together. They should be focused this week. Tennessee is, I think, 25-3.
in their last matchups against Kentucky.
Against Kentucky since 1984. Since 1980 something, and we're 25-3 against Kentucky. Anyways, Kentucky's got a really good team this year, and honestly, their quarterback is a really good quarterback. Was it Wilson? He's a really good quarterback. He's a running quarterback who's actually a good passer too. So Kentucky's going to be dangerous. Tennessee's only favored by 6. Excuse me. Tennessee's only favored by 6, but I would probably still take Tennessee minus those 6. Tennessee should really be focused this week
after losing to Georgia.
After the hype of the Georgia game.
They should really be focused.
Yeah, so I'm honestly picking probably Tennessee by maybe 10 plus maybe. But we'll go ahead and leave with that. Then we got number 1 Clemson at Georgia Tech. Man, that's going to be a beatdown probably.
That is going to be another butt smacking.
Yeah, that's probably a 28-30 point game. That's going to be an ugly.
Clemson by 30.
We got Cincinnati at Tulsa.
Cincinnati. I'm picking Cincinnati.
Me too. It's only a 3-point game. Cincinnati's only favored by 3.
I don't know I think I'll take it by more, honestly.
I think I'll take Cincinnati minus those 3. I think it's going to happen by more than 3.
First time they've been in the top 10 since 2009. Mm-hmm. Interesting note.
Yeah, we got Pittsburgh at Miami. Miami being number 13, favored by 10.5. Miami coming off of that loss.
They should be mentally focused.
I think Miami's going to pull that line too. But Auburn at South Carolina.
Auburn, I hope they got it together.
Auburn's only favored by 3 in this one, which means it's a pick'em game. Or no, it would be like 6 at a neutral spot.
If they lose to South Carolina, that bus will be completely inflated.
The collapse will be complete. But no, honestly, Auburn coming off of a loss too. I mean, coming off of what should have been a loss to Arkansas. I think they should pull South Carolina too. Louisville at Notre Dame. Louisville struggling, man.
Their defense has really struggled, and Notre Dame should run the ball very effectively on that defense.
Yeah, I think they will beat that down pretty good. And here's our shocker that you would not have picked at the first of the season. Your national champion and best team in the history of college football, LSU Tigers last year, are going to Florida, and the line is 11.5.
Their defense has played very poorly over the past few weeks.
LSU's defense. Now, the DBU? No.
It's not DBU now.
It's not DBU this year, no. It's DBO.
Because they've gave up over 95 points.
What? 95 points?
They gave up over approximately 98 points this season on defense in 3 games.
It's like 30, almost 33 points a game.
And let me remind you, Vanderbilt only scored 7 points against that defense.
My goodness, that is hard. Florida's favored by 11.5, and they will probably do that rather easily.
They will spread that line because, ouch. Talk about a bad defending champion.
Yeah, we got Texas A&M at Mississippi State. Texas A&M.
Yeah, Mississippi State.
They started off hot. They started hot, but honestly, I think they're struggling to find their identity now that they've come together, and there's been some film on them. So Mississippi State's rest of the year may be ugly, even though it started off with that win against LSU. Turns out LSU sucks. So it's Mississippi State's win against them, and they ain't that impressive anymore.
Texas A&M should bounce back.
Yeah, we got North Carolina at Florida State. North Carolina State is awful. Really struggling. Really, really, really struggling. It'll be a 14-plus point game, I think. Okie State Baylor, we have a postponed game. So that one is postponed
until later this year.
Until a later date. And then maybe the game of the year. I mean, let's go and talk about that one first. Then we'll talk about this one last. We got Boston College at Virginia Tech. I'm going
to pick the Hokies.
Yeah, I think Virginia Tech looked really good, and I think they'll win this one probably pretty easily. But now the last game on the slate.
The game of the year so far.
Georgia.
Number 2, Georgia against number 3, Alabama.
This will be yummy.
Very delicious.
Very delicious game.
Tastes like a turkey on Thanksgiving, doesn't it?
Yes, it tastes like a surprise gift. Man, this is going to be good. Alabama is actually favored by 6. It's in Alabama.
Georgia has had terrible luck against the Crimson Tide in recent years.
And honestly, I think Alabama Alabama's offense right now is really clicking, man.
Do you want to trust Georgia's rock-solid defense or Alabama's high-scoring offense?
I'm going to probably lean on Alabama, to be honest. Just because Georgia hasn't
proved that they can beat them yet.
No, until Georgia can actually beat Alabama, why would I pick Georgia? I mean, really?
More likely, in the past years, you've seen Georgia choke leads against Alabama when they've been ahead.
Now, if Alabama can put up 60 on Ole Miss, why can't they put up 40 on Georgia? I mean, Georgia's defense is that good, but let's say Georgia holds them to 3 less touchdowns than Ole Miss did. That's still 39 points. I mean, that's still 42 points. You know what I'm saying? I think Alabama's going to score 35 plus. The question is, can Georgia score 35 plus?
I don't think they have the offense to match that, though.
Not
They've
against,
been a little too inconsistent.
Not against Alabama's defense. Alabama's defense is a fantastic, but
they're serviceable.
And like I said, and until Georgia can show me they can beat Alabama, I'm probably going to pick Alabama. So there it is.
We'll take the Crimson Tide.
We'll take the Crimson Tide. As much as I cringes me to say that. That's it. That is our predictions for Week 7, our recap of Week 6. We hope you like it. Hope you had some fun with it.
Press the like button.
Like it. Leave a comment down below. Tell us we should change clothes or something. I don't know. Hit the groovy baby button over here somewhere.
On my head.
Other than that, we'll see you next week for more football.
See you next week.